Andrew. He had definitely my eyes, the amount of hair on his head. He had his father's lips, like a smile, and long pianist fingers.
Welcome to Still a Part of Us, a place where moms and dads share the story of their child who was stillborn or who died in infancy. I'm Winter.
And I'm Lee. We are grateful you joined us today. Please note that this is a story of loss and has triggers.
Thanks to our lost parents who are willing to be vulnerable and share their children with us.
If you're listening to this podcast, just know that on our YouTube channel there are pictures and videos that are related to the stories that are being shared.
Subscribe and share it with a friend that might need it and tell them to subscribe. Why? Because people need to know that even though our babies are no longer with us, they're still a part of us. Well, welcome to Still a Part of Us. We're so grateful that you're here today with us, and so grateful for Nataliia that she has been willing to reach out to us. And in this very hard time, we had a wonderful discussion, Lee and I, with Nataliia and her husband. And so welcome, Nataliia. Thank you so much. And we're excited to talk about Andrew today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and giving me and my husband an opportunity to talk about Andrew.
Yeah.
Telling his story.
Yes. That's what we're here for. So, Nataliia, will you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you guys located in the world, and also what your family looks like right now?
So we are originally from Ukraine, but we've been living in Ireland, in Dublin, for 8 years now. So we like the weather.
Yeah.
We love everything about this place. So yeah, currently just two of us and our Frenchie.
Oh, awesome. You gotta love the fur babies, right?
Yeah. He was our first.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And what do you guys like to do as a couple, as a family?
Oh,
Any hobbies or anything?
My husband is a little bit of introvert, so he likes to stay at home and do some electronic stuff, coding, and I'm a little bit on not big extrovert, but I like DIYing, doing something small things, like for me, for myself, for friends, and we like to hike, not super professional, just like climb up the hill, something like that.
Yes.
Nothing crazy.
Yes, and just being outside. I mean, because you live in Ireland, so I'd be like all over that.
It's beautiful. So
yeah. That is wonderful. And okay, so tell me a little bit about your family plans. Were you guys planning on starting a family, having any children, or was this a little bit of a surprise when you got pregnant with Andrew?
It was a planned one, but at the same time, it was a surprise because we did not expect it to happen that fast.
Okay.
Actually, before getting pregnant, we went to the fertility clinic because my AMH levels, they weren't that great, and my OBGYN, she was concerned that like it's very low and I probably need to consider other options.
Gotcha.
Since we were kind of trying for a year and it didn't happen. But right after that appointment, it was
really
really we got, yes, it was like right after the appointment in the fertility clinic, and
that is so funny.
we got scared probably. Or something like, we better do it.
Okay, I was going to just say that one of the things that sometimes when you're like, okay, I'm serious about something, you kind of need to do, like, it sometimes takes a doctor's appointment or talking to somebody, then all of a sudden it happens and you're like, okay, I guess it was meant to be.
Meant to be, yes.
Yeah. So that is great. So it was a little bit of surprise. So tell me when you found out, or tell me how you found out that you were pregnant, or what made you think that you were pregnant.
Like, we did not expect. So we were just living our lives. And at some point I noticed like that I'm late with my period, and I'm like, that never happened before.
Yeah.
So it was just like simple test, and it was it basically was 6 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So easy in a sense.
Yeah, no, nothing. Like we don't usually go to take an ultrasound for that matter. You just go to GP. They confirm it with a test, urine test, and then they refer you to the maternity hospital.
Yeah.
And you wait for your next 12-week like scan at the maternity hospital. So that's the procedure. So we just like, okay,
we're pregnant.
We took it. We took it easy and just like, okay, whatever you say, we're gonna go.
So so you took the test and it came back positive. Did you immediately tell your husband? Tell me how that went.
I told him I was at home and like I checked my app for the like period, and like I told him, I think you need to buy a pregnancy test.
So he was the one. So he was very aware of what was happening.
Yeah. I think you should buy a test because I think.
Yay!
So yeah.
So he was there when you were testing. Okay, that's super exciting. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And how were you feeling besides, I mean, obviously having your period late, were you feeling any sort of sickness? Because if you're waiting from about week 6 to week 12 when you go into to be scanned that first time, how are you feeling?
I was feeling totally fine, but then probably week 10, I started I started having sickness. It wasn't morning. It was most of the time it was at night.
Oh,
I don't know why. It was at night.
I
could be waking up by like being sick.
Oh.
So yeah, it was very strange. It never happened in the morning. Like it's either late in the evening or at night. So
a little
that
different.
was crazy, and it lasted like until week 17 or something like that. Kind of horrible. I was exhausted and like feeling sick all the time. I had very strange food
aversions, like
inclined aversions.
Okay.
Yeah, like I couldn't stand when my husband was cooking fish. I was just like look into the kitchen and like, oh, I'm out.
Yep. It's amazing when your body, your body is just like, I need this or I don't need this, and I can't handle this. And
yeah, I stopped liking truffle. Anything truffle was like a big no. I still don't like it. It's just.
Oh really?
I don't know. Like yeah. I really like the truffle oil. Some truffle,
but the actual truffle,
French fries.
Yeah.
Yes, truffle oil. But during pregnancy, I just
nothing.
Absolutely not. And since then, I still don't like it. It's just
fascinating. Yeah. I usually, most of my stuff came and went, and it was fine. But it's funny that you're like, nope, no more, please.
I wish I had the same for chocolate or something like
that.
But
that would have helped me out too. Okay, and then so tell me, typically you get at around 12 weeks, you go into the maternity hospital and start getting checked out. And did you guys end up going in around 12 weeks? Was that about the right time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did
we went there 12 weeks? The scan was absolutely perfect. They checked everything. It was perfectly fine.
Good.
Yep.
I know there's some in the United States. A lot of times we can do genetic testing around that 10 to 12 weeks or so, 13 weeks. Was there anything that would cause you guys to do anything extra like that, like any genetic testing?
No, since they didn't notice anything bad. They said, and we were healthy and no prior histories or anything. And on the 12-week scan, everything was fine. We could, but we chose not to.
Okay.
Yeah, same for the 20-week scan, which was perfect as well. Like they check all of his
all the anatomy.
Organs. Yeah, all of the anatomy scan, like it was perfect. So even then, probably there is no reason for that. So we just opted out from that.
Now, did your husband go with you to this 12-week appointment?
Yeah, he was with me on all of the appointments.
Which is super fun and exciting. I always think for our first baby, Lee was there the entire time, and it's just it's nice to be there together. I mean, if you're able to do it together. And then so then everything is going well. It went well at the 12-week. Everything was good. You were kind of tired, had some nausea in the evening, which is different, which is very different. Did you end up telling your family back home or any friends or anything like that about your pregnancy?
Yes, we actually had our moms visiting.
Oh,
They arrived like one day before our 12-week scan. So basically, we went to the hospital. They confirmed that everything is fine, and we had like a dinner
yeah.
that day with our moms. So we told them then, yeah,
Oh,
they were very happy.
that is wonderful. Like,
Yeah.
what a wonderful
What a
coincidence
yes, yes.
that they were there, and you can be like, we're gonna tell you in person, because I mean, yeah, it's fun to tell on the phone, but at the same time, if you can do it in person, I think that's wonderful. So then, you go along, you go to the anatomy scan. Everything looks really good there. There was nothing of concern that they brought up. Did they at that time do the gender? Did they tell you that Andrew would be a boy at that time? And did you guys want to know?
No, we asked to keep it like a put it in the envelope so we can have some sort of gender reveal. Nothing
Yes.
crazy,
Yeah.
not like just a simple one. So yeah, we asked not to disclose that information. Yeah,
Awesome. Okay, and
we
then
find out. Yeah.
when did you end up doing the gender reveal on that then, and how did that go?
Actually, I have invited my friend. She's a professional photographer. She now lives in Paris. So like she lived in Barcelona. Like, come over to do us a maternity photo shoot. And it was like, this is how I was telling her that I'm pregnant. And
Oh,
it was really funny. Like, come over, like you can visit us and also do me a maternity photo shoot. And
oh,
she's like, what?
that is
So yeah,
wonderful. Like,
yeah. So yeah. So when she came, we planned, like I took a holiday at work and we were just traveling around Dublin area. Like I was showing her around.
mm,
And yeah, we planned different photo shoots, like in the studio, then on the beach.
yeah.
And then we decided, okay, let's do some small gender reveal. We went to the macaroon shop,
Oh,
those like
yes. They're
cookies or
yeah,
like
exactly.
small,
Those,
like
and they're so good.
French, French,
Yeah.
French.
The French macarons. They look like a
Yeah,
sandwich cookie. They're made out of almond flour and they have a filling depending on jam
yeah,
or like a cream of some sort, and they are delicious. Yeah.
yes, yeah,
So you
yeah.
had it,
So
did you have this filling be a different color, or how did you do that?
no, so we went to the like yeah we went to the cafe and asked them like we saw that they have like blue and pink macaroons, so we said like here's the envelope, could you please look at it? We're gonna go outside, and my friend, she stayed there and she kind of controlled the situation.
Oh,
Yes, so we didn't know, and they put like little macaroons into their customized box,
yeah.
and that's like and it's like gray. They wrap it up with gray ribbon,
Ribbon,
so
so you don't even know.
we didn't know anything. So yeah, so we went home and we had like a small photo shoot how we were opening it,
Yeah.
and like just for fun finding out. That's how we that's how we found out.
That is really so cute. And I love how it was just kind of cute and private and simple and small, and
Yeah,
but something that is so intimate for your
yeah.
family. So I think that's so cute. Okay, how did you feel when you found out you were having a boy?
That was weird because like how my friend she said like I was always imagining you as a boy mom.
Oh, really? She did say that.
Yeah,
So it sounds
but
like
we were excited. We were excited. We were
yes,
very
you're just
excited.
excited. I know it is. It
Yeah.
is exciting to have children, to be pregnant. So, okay. So then, from there, did you guys start planning on names? Or did you have a name already? Was Andrew already on the list?
No, no. Yeah, we started looking for names. Like I had a long list, and then we were just like a game, naming a name, and then remembering some strange association with that name. If that was something stupid, I'll be
It's
like, no, that's not it.
I.
Like, or some,
You got to
some,
do that.
yeah,
Because you
yeah,
don't want to be like, my child is he has the same name as this person that I hated in high school or something like that.
something like that. Yeah. So we ended up like with a couple of names. We actually started doing it before gender reveal. So we had
Mm,
like a short list of for boy and short list for girls.
yeah.
And
So you didn't choose Andrew's name till a bit later then, it sounds like.
yeah, we kind of looked at him when he was born, and when we had to fill out some paperwork, like the paperwork, we decided like,
That was it. Okay.
Let it be Andrew.
Yeah, but it was on
the
it was on the short list, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so then after your anatomy scan, he looks great. You guys have your gender reveal, which is so sweet and just really cute. I was like, yeah, that's a really cute way of doing it. How were you feeling in that second trimester? Were you doing a little bit better? You said about 17 weeks you had the nausea. Were you feeling a little bit better after that point?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it kind of went away. I was just feeling tired then. I could sleep,
Yeah.
like I could fall asleep very easily in the middle of the day.
Oh.
It was very hard to work.
Yeah.
And especially if it was warm day
Oh,
outside, I would just basically
done.
energy saving mode. I would just like
That is a great way of putting it because you just like I'm making a child, okay? I just it's too hot.
cooking.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you are doing really well. How are the appointments after that point? Do you go in like once a month or is it like it's starting to get a little bit more frequent after that. Is that not right?
Yeah, so in Ireland it's a little bit different,
Mhm.
probably to United States.
Yes.
So you have monthly visits in the hospital
Mhm.
and with your GP, but with a 2-week shift. So every 2 weeks you go somewhere.
Oh,
So like it's a GP, then hospital, then GP, then hospital. Like it's every 2 weeks
gotcha.
you go places
Yes, you're
for the
being
checks.
seen by a lot of people. Okay.
Yeah, they check. So GP can only check your blood pressure and protein
Protein in the
in the
urine.
urine. Yeah, and in the hospital they check that as well, but they also do a quick scan whether
Okay.
everything is okay. Yeah.
Okay. So you do
It is
get
like
to
a quick. Yeah.
just a really quick like ultrasound wand type
Yeah,
thing. Okay.
It doesn't look like a big room. It's like a tiny room. It's like a cupboard room
Mhm.
where it's just only bed and
And the
ultrasound
machine.
machine. Like a tiny space for my husband. It's so tiny, so it's like a quick check, like heartbeat. It was very swift. Like
Okay. But you got to kind of see him and hear him every couple
yeah,
weeks, it sounds like
yeah,
every couple weeks, every month or so to be able
yeah,
to see him, which is so
yeah.
nice. Like I know some people
We were
don't.
getting pictures every
Yeah.
single time. So like so.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's either like a hand or a leg,
Yeah.
something random. Like on anatomy scans and those days, 12 weeks, we got
Tons.
big,
Yes.
tons of pictures. But this one was just like one or two. Yeah. So it was, everything was good then.
Okay. And everything was looking good and you were feeling good too. Blood pressure was good.
Yeah.
No protein in the
I even
urine.
nothing. My blood pressure was perfect. We have the tonometer at home, so my husband was checking in on
Good.
me like periodically. So I didn't have high blood pressure like during whole pregnancy, probably until everything
Yeah.
everything happened. So.
Yeah. I do want to make sure that I cover this. Were you planning on having any sort of like a baby shower? I'm not sure if that's a typical like a little party, or were you planning on just announcing it kind of after? It's always tricky because especially when your family's in a different country, it's hard to kind of get some celebrations like that. So
We kind of decided not to do it because all our friends, close friends, they live abroad, far away, like in Ukraine or in other countries, and I did not have physical strength and capacity to plan this thing, like to bring everyone
together.
to plan this, together. So whoever asked us, like, do you have something, like, even someone was asking us, like, what do you want, like I don't know, we don't have anything, like we're just gonna buy it. So kind of we did not go with it at that time. Yeah,
Well,
but friends, the close friends, they were sending us gifts
yes.
regardless. So
yeah, I like to point out, and others that are listening to this are like, of course, you're exhausted, just so tired in the third trimester, especially. I just felt like I was like, I need to take a nap again today. And so it totally makes sense, especially since you guys are so far away from each other, to not be able to kind of throw something together like a party. But still very kind that your friends were there. I mean, friends were there to support you and like sending gifts and stuff. That was kind.
Yeah, we are thankful for them. We decided like we're gonna announce the birth of our son,
Yes.
like when it happened.
Yes.
No one knew my due date, so I wouldn't have any questions like, is it happen? Like, is it happening yet?
Yes, yeah. They just knew you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, so then tell me a little bit more as things progress. Like when are things starting to look a little bit not so normal?
In Ireland, there's also an option for the midwife care. If
Oh,
you are
yes.
considered a low risk pregnancy
Mm-hmm.
and you did not have C-section before, you can go for the midwife
Okay.
because it's close. It might be closer to you.
Yeah.
So that's what I opted out because I felt so tired going to the city center for these appointments, and since everything was fine, so I like the last appointment at 33 weeks, I asked at the hospital, like, can I switch to midwife care? Like, I feel fine. They can check me there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they like everything's fine. You just go there. So on my second appointment with the midwife, we find out that something's wrong. She measured my blood pressure. It was too high, and she measured the belly, and it was too big for the 37-week pregnancy.
Oh.
So she told me that we need to immediately go to the emergency room at the maternity hospital and check there, because I mean, midwives, they only have they don't have any
Yes,
equipment. Yes, so
exactly.
she told me like go to the hospital straight away. So
And
actually, that's what the disappointment. My husband was at work; he had to go for a meeting, so I called him like and told him everything. He left everything, and we drove to the hospital. So
okay, so
yeah,
he was with
and
you
at
then.
and at the ER room, I was given something sweet to drink and a clicker to count kicks. The heartbeat was there; it was strong, but I only counted one kick in 1 hour.
Oh.
Which is like, it was way too low, even considering that I had an anterior placenta, so I didn't feel him kicking. I could see him moving in the night, but I didn't feel many kicks during pregnancy. But he was growing normal, so like, okay, that's fine. But this one, it was way too low. It's like one kick in 1 hour after 1 liter
of sweet,
liquid,
yeah,
of sweet liquid, which should trigger him to move.
Now,
So
Nataliia, can I ask you a quick question? So I know you had the anterior placenta, so it sounds like you were counting kicks, sort of, or were you just noticing his movement? Is that what the nurses, is that what the midwife or the doctors, is that what they asked you to do during your pregnancy?
Not really. I
Okay.
actually didn't. I did not count any kicks during the pregnancy, because on the scans they were checking him and everything was fine. So I only it wasn't like sessions of kicking. I felt his movement,
Yes.
but it wasn't like every single hour or something like that. He moved a lot at night. He
Okay.
was an owl.
Yeah.
In that, like, he moved a lot at night. So that's what I felt like. Okay, he's doing his usual
Okay.
thing,
Okay.
kicking me, like moving in at night, and that's why I did not.
You weren't worried, and you also you didn't necessarily do anything that was like regimented, like I'm going to sit here for so long. Okay. So then let's go back to that one appointment when you are in the emergency room. You only got the one click, one kick in that 1 hour.
Yeah. So at that point, we still had no suspicion because the heartbeat was strong. Like, how is it possible? Like, the heartbeat is there, but he's not kicking. So we were then taken to another room to have an ultrasound, and the technician saw something when he focused on the brain. And I asked him, I looked at the screen and I asked him, is this his brain? It didn't look right. Like, it didn't, because on the anatomy scan, it looks like a walnut,
Yeah.
the brain is perfect. But this one is like, is this his brain? And he kind of looked away. He didn't say anything. He said, like, the doctor need to look at it, and we need to take you to the high resolution machine. Like, we need to take you to another place where they have better equipment.
Yes.
And they can look at it more precisely.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we were taken there, and during that scan, the new technician, she looked very concerned and told us that she need a doctor, OBGYN, to take a look. Even then, it was like we didn't comprehend it just yet. And only when the doctor came, she looked at the scan, and she told us that unfortunately the midline, the separate, and the normal
brain.
structure of the brain is not present. And also Andrew has hydrocephalus. It's when the head gets enlarged due to the improper drainage of cerebral spinal fluid.
Yeah.
When it's produced, it needs to drain to the spine, spine, but it wasn't. And when something obstructs the drainage, the fluid builds up in his head, and it's just like it enlarging it, like it's blowing up as a balloon.
And that's what you saw. That's what you saw in the ultrasound, where you're like, "Is that his brain? That's what you saw? Is that right?"
I did not comprehend the size.
Oh, I see.
I just saw like weird structure. It wasn't like, all of like walnut like structure. It was something else and mushy. And only at the second scan with the doctor, she told me like the circumference of his head is enlarged and it's big, because he doesn't have like a drainage of the spinal fluid, and she doesn't know what could have caused this type of brain damage. It's completely like it was like a mush. Yeah, and that's when it really hit us. Like she said, it's either going to be a very severe disability or he's going to die. So in this complete shock and disbelief, we were taken to another room where when we started Googling through the tears, like, what is this hydrocephalus? And then like we were finding, people are surviving it, and they are like growing just fine. Everything is like they can survive this. But we did not understand like the severity of the damage. We just heard this word, Googled it, and like, yeah, he can live with it if you do they can do a shunt, like a special surgery, to help it drain. And that's what people were getting, and their kids were recovering very well. So we thought that would be our case. Yeah, we were nurses were taking our blood for genetic testing because like it looked surreal. What was on that scan, it looked surreal.
Yeah,
they were taking blood samples for the genetic testing, and also for my blood for platelets. Just to see. They were thinking, I assume that it was like a
clotting something,
blood clot. Maybe obstructed the drainage, and that's what happened. Yeah, it was surreal for us at that moment, because like how this could happen 2 weeks ago, everything was fine. It happened so fast that like none of us expected it at the time, and we were in that room like closed off, sitting in that like until we were taken to the like our room where we like to stay overnight. With a bed for me and recliner chair for my husband. So
obviously you were in shock, but it's always it's a little frustrating because it sounds like you guys were not giving you a lot of answers about.
No, and they didn't know, because they didn't know. They looked at it and like, we have no idea what is this and what could have caused this, and they were just like guessing with this blood clot. But next day the results came back and they said everything's fine. Your like genetic testing is fine. Your blood is fine. Then like we still don't know what is it. And this OBGYN, she came into our room and said, okay, we're gonna have MRI tomorrow. And most likely the C-section, because you will not be able to give birth vaginally due to the size of his head. So so they scheduled it like for tomorrow. So
for
it's
the
like
next day. Okay.
The next day.
You were at 37 weeks. And how was your blood pressure? Also, that was the other thing. I'm just trying to like
it was fine.
the first midwife appointment. that was fine and everything was measuring fine, blood pressure was fine, and it was the second one, which was what, maybe a couple weeks later?
Yeah, 2 weeks later, exactly 2 weeks later, and it was all like blood pressure.
High blood pressure, you were measuring way bigger, and then you went in for that appointment, and then you went to the emergency room, and then everything is just feels very like it's changed overnight, like you said.
Yes.
That is crazy. And then when you're in the hospital, after you get the, not necessarily the diagnosis, but the information that there's something wrong with Andrew, your blood pressure is okay now? Is it back to a good spot? I'm just worried also about you. Like, how is your health? Because this could be like, that could be a preeclampsia type thing, and you are it could be dangerous for your life as well. So how are you feeling? How are you looking?
I felt completely fine, and I think the blood pressure was high because of Andrew's size. At that point. I think he was just putting too much pressure on me, because I mean, I know it didn't happen overnight, like his because that amount of fluid that he had, it took some time, maybe a week or something. It takes some time, but I didn't see the difference, you know.
Yeah,
I was big. I have big belly, and if it got bigger, I googled like, is it okay to have big belly? I third trimester, like, yes, of course, you're pregnant. Like, what do you expect? Of course, they're gonna get bigger. So I didn't like that last week. I noticed that I got bigger, but like, okay, I'm third trimester, almost about to give birth. So I did not suspect anything. Like, he was like moving as usual, so I did not suspect anything.
Okay.
And I was feeling completely fine. So I don't know, doctors, they said, we are not going to postpone C-section. Let's do it like the next day. So, yeah.
So still no answers after even the genetic testing, the blood testing, everything comes back. And are they telling you about the C-section? Like, are they talking about how he will be after he is born? So they did mention severe disability or maybe possibly passing away. Mm-hmm. And was that still, did that hit you guys that was still on the table? I guess
after MRI. So next day, it was Wednesday. Next day, we went. I went to have an MRI.
Yes.
It was very painful for me. Like this first night at the hospital, I couldn't sleep all night because for some reason this particular day I couldn't sleep on my right side as you usually told to do so during pregnancy. You need to sleep on your right, but I couldn't. My hip was killing me, and I was in immense pain. And Andrew was kicking all night, like this, like a boxer, until 3 a.m. or something. I could not sleep. He probably liked that the turkey sandwich I got for dinner. So yeah, he was kicking me so hard I could not sleep. So when in MRI machine they asked me to be on my right side, it's like, guys, please, it's so painful. Like, I can't. Like, oh, you have to, because we need to have proper scans. At some point, I could not take it anymore. I was already pushing the MRI machine, like trying to squeeze something so I don't feel that pain. But the nurse who wheeled me into MRI, she kind of noticed that I'm already like a zombie, trying to escape this. She asked them, can she turn? And they said, yeah, okay, we done majority of tests, pictures, so I can roll over.
Thank goodness.
So I can turn on my left, and you won't believe what happened next. I fell asleep inside the MRI machine.
You did?
While during all of those noises, loud noises, it's like boom, boom, boom,
is so
boom,
loud
boom.
in there.
I was blacked out. I fall asleep.
You were exhausted
inside the MRI. Yeah, I was exhausted and probably from the pain as well. I only woke up when this table that rolls out from the MRI machine, and the nurse wake up, honey, we need to go. And it was wow. The only funny moment at that during that ordeal. So
that is really amazing, because MRI, I've been in an MRI machine or two, and it is loud. I mean, they even
Loud,
give you
yeah.
little earplugs and you can still hear it just fine through those earplug things. So, okay, so they did the MRI. Were they able to read that pretty quickly, or did they come up with anything and let you know about what happened, what's going on with him?
Yeah, so actually after the MRI, I had like a panel of doctors, OBGYNs, the one who's going to be doing the C-section,
Mhm.
and neonatologist and pediatric doctor. They came to our room and they started a very hard conversation by stressing, like, first that it's not my fault and nothing I could have done to prevent this. So we could not hold our tears. I could see how they were carefully choosing like words
Yes.
to bring those like worst and the most painful news of our life. That the brain damage was so severe that only my placenta was keeping him alive, and that Andrew will not be able to breathe on his own. Like, they do not recommend intubating him, even though he will be born alive, like with heartbeat, but they do not recommend intubating him because it will not prolong his life. It will only delay his imminent death. Yeah, so throughout that conversation, doctors keep stressing that none of it was my fault. But honestly, it didn't make like me feel any better. At that point, I didn't believe them. I was convinced that they were telling me like a white lie just to help me to go through this. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, it was like they looked at the MRI, and that's what, like, all of this, that panel of doctors, they said it's not going to be a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I was shaking. I was visibly shaking. I was talking to the doctors, like trying to ask questions about like the process and everything. I was like,
Yeah.
my I was sitting and my legs were shaking. I was yeah. I think I was on the brink of a mental breakdown or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when the doctors left, I asked a nurse, just, can you give me something for my nerves, because I will not.
You're like,
I want to stay present during C-section, but I want to come down because I won't be able to go through this with all of that, like in my head, in my heart.
it's too much.
I need to come down. I need to come down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone left in the room, leaving us with these heavy thoughts and tears, like preparing for the C-section.
And the C-section was going to be that same day, is that right?
Yes, it happened a few hours later. So the nurse came one last time to check my blood pressure and Andrew's heartbeat. The heartbeat was so strong that I still could not believe that he's not going to make it. It was like dissonance, cognitive dissonance. Like his heart is there, but he's not.
To have him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we went for a C-section. My husband was sitting next to me at my head. Yeah, when I was laid on the operating table, getting ready, nurses recorded Andrew's heartbeat into the teddy bear.
Oh.
And when you press on his belly, it plays the sound.
For any listeners who don't know what that is, but there are some services where they'll take a little recording of the baby's heartbeat and put it into a little stuffed teddy bear, and, it sounds like they did that, and I think that's wonderful because like you said,
Yeah,
his heart was so strong. Um, yeah.
yeah. It was very sweet of them. Yeah, it was this bear was a courtesy of one of the foundations. We have a couple of foundations that help parents
Yeah.
of loss.
Yeah.
So this bear was for them. So it was very sweet. Like this
Yes.
bear now lays between my and my husband's pillows. And
Yeah.
sometimes I fall asleep with it. Like if I feel
Mhm.
uneasy, I just hug it and
Yeah.
fall asleep.
Were they able to give you something so you could calm down? Like you said, not be so amped up
Yeah.
and stressed and, yeah.
I don't know what was it, but it was magic pill. I
Okay.
was calm as a clam.
Yeah, okay.
I like it was some kind of like a feeling that I was out of my body.
Mm.
Like it wasn't hallucination, but I was very like
Almost detached a
too
little bit, yeah.
yeah, it was disassociation. Like
Okay.
I was like with some like that's I saw everything, but it was like a blur.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw everything like clearly, but I don't know, in my head it was like a blurry.
Okay, yes.
It was like very strange feeling. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, yeah. But you were so stressed and amped up and on the
Yeah.
like you said, on the verge of a mental breakdown, like, that is a lot of trauma that you're just experiencing when your baby's healthy one minute and then is not another, and it's just so shocking. It's so shocking to us
Yeah.
moms. Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, I was like aware where I am,
Yes.
and I was able to interact with everybody, but I was just like too calm, I
Yeah.
would say.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm thankful for that because otherwise I would probably, I don't know, they would have to put me under or something because uh,
Yeah.
I would not get through that. Yeah. So Andrew was born. He never cried or opened his eyes. My husband looked behind the surgical curtain and said that he's beautiful. So yeah, so the doctors took him like to perform necessary checks to check on his heartbeat, and then brought him to us so we can take a look at him closer.
Yeah.
They dressed him uh, in the hat, like in a baby hat we brought for him. So
Uh-huh.
it was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really remember much about the event in the operating room. So yeah, like the room, what I clearly remember, like it's a silent and some monitors beeping, but no cry. Like you could hear like a needle drop.
Yeah.
So still like so surreal
And horrible. You
and
want it to
horrible.
you wanna hear your baby crying.
Yes, I was expecting him like at least like a squirm or something like
Yeah.
a sound or opening his eyes, but it wasn't there. While he was still alive, we were taken to the post-operation room where they were like tracking my blood pressure,
Um,
and there Andrew passed away in our arms 90 minutes after birth, like 1.5 hours.
oh, 90
Yeah, it
minutes.
was either in my hand, in my arms, or in my husband. We were just like
Holding. Back and forth.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his blessing from the hospital chaplain there, and yeah, then we were taken to the pediatric doctor. He was like coming in every 15 minutes to check on his pulse, and on the final check, they're like, yeah, he has passed. So yeah. After he passed, that the chaplain came in, said some like prayers, blessed it, and that was it.
after he was dressed and in the OR and brought him over to you guys, did your husband hold him while you were getting sewn up, and or was he just next to you in a little bassinet?
He was sitting next to me, and one of the doctors, he was holding Andrew, like close to my face.
Oh, good.
So yeah,
You got to see him.
yeah, we got to see him. Yeah, but I mean, I could touch him. Yeah, but I could not hold him.
Yes, yeah, you're just in a
Yeah,
weird position, so
I only
that's
got to hold him in the post-op room.
okay.
After he passed, we were taken to the bereavement room. It was located in the very, very back of the hospital.
Yep.
Like you need to walk
Yep.
a lot to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, far away from
Other
from other rooms because there were pregnant everywhere. It was like a separate wing of the hospital where these rooms.
Yeah.
I think our was in the very end. There was a special like a sign on the door.
Yep.
The Irish sign for bereavement. It's like
Oh.
a rude type of the sign.
Yeah.
So that was like it was a tidy room, a bed for me, and a recliner chair for my husband, and a cuddle cot for Andrew.
Okay.
They offered this special cooling cot
Yes.
for him, so he can stay with us longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this scary cot is this like has cooling lining to prevent temperature fluctuations, and it gives time to be with him and say goodbye.
Those are such a blessing. I mean, it goes against your motherly instinct to keep your baby warm, but it is keeping your baby intact, like you said. It's just so it's once again some more dissonance of like I don't understand how this is happening, and
yeah, I didn't know it existed.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't.
Like,
you wouldn't.
What is this?
Yeah.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
That it can be done.
Yeah.
And my first reaction in my head was like, how cruel.
Yeah.
How can it be so cruel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like to him, to me, like keeping him. But then I changed my mind pretty quickly. Like the next day, I was very glad
that you,
grateful for them to offer this, this option.
Nataliia, I wanted to ask. I like to ask these things because it's nice to be able to talk about our kids. When Andrew was born, can you tell me how much he weighed?
He weighed 4.5 kilograms.
Okay.
Not sure how many pounds.
He was that's like what it's like 9 pounds. I want to say around 9 pounds, I think.
Yeah, but I think it's not his true weight due to like
because of all the water,
the liquid. Due to the liquid in his brain. So he was probably 3.5 kilo, like maybe 7 or 8
pounds.
Like,
yeah. And then how long was he? How tall was he?
Ooh,
that one might be a little different too because of his head size. But do you remember what his length was?
I think like 54 centimeters. It's like 20 inches.
Which would
or maybe more, less, like 50 centimeters.
Okay. I know. I'm not great at the conversions and everything.
Yeah, it's like around 10 inches. I think.
Yeah.
No,
it
20.
It would be closer to 20. Yeah. And at that time, I'm actually wondering when you met him, that's when you decided his name would be Andrew.
Yeah.
Is there anything that made you think of that name as being good for him?
I don't know, like we found this name very kind.
Yeah.
So yeah, we only got to kind of pick a name next day. It was Thursday, like after all of this, right after the surgery when they brought us to our room. It was very late in the evening, and we basically just fall asleep pretty quickly. So yeah, only the next day we just were asked what his name, and we decided like, that he will be Andrew.
So I want to make sure that I have the events correct. You went in, and it was 37 weeks. You went to the hospital on, can you tell me, was that on like the Monday?
No, it was Tuesday. I
It
went to
was
the
Tuesday.
ER on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, okay. And then
Yeah,
you did the
C-section
C on
on
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
and then, okay. And
Yeah.
then how long were you able to keep him? I don't know if Ireland has a different hospital policies on how long you can keep your baby or you can be in the hospital, especially since there is the cuddle cot. How long did you guys opt to be in the hospital and to have him?
So I was like during this time, like on Thursday, we had lots of people coming in, like doctors, midwives, to
Yeah.
check in on us, on Andrew, like saying their condolences. Yeah, like on Friday, we also had like lots of people coming in. The hospital chaplain came to discuss the options, like with the funeral. Then OBGYN doctor came and said, the one that performed the C-section, and she said like, yeah, you're good to go. The incision is healing nicely. You can go home. And then another doctor came. He brought consent forms for
Okay.
autopsy. He asked like, would you
Yes.
like an autopsy?
Yeah.
And we said, yeah, it like the autopsy will be performed on Monday. And even though we would get the autopsy report in 2 months, we still agreed, and because we wanted answers,
Yeah.
and we really hoped that they would give us these
Yes.
answers. They will find what was wrong. So we then asked him like, what would happen with Andrew during the weekend if I'm to check like to be in discharge.
Where would he
What
be?
happened to
Where?
him?
Yeah.
Yeah, where would he go for the weekend? And the doctor said like he would go to the morgue, but we didn't like it at all. And like leaving him alone in that cold room, like so he actually offered taking Andrew home, like in this cuddle cot, but
Yeah. In the
it didn't
cot.
sit. Yeah, he offered that, but it didn't sit right with me because his head was very fragile.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, and if something like
Happened.
happens, like to like accident or something at home, I would probably end up
Yeah.
in mental institution
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
So I, out of nowhere, I asked, like, I don't know how I came up with this, like, can we stay here at the hospital for the weekend? And they agreed, like they allowed us, like, yeah, sure.
They did.
Yeah,
They did.
yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we're so grateful that we had more time
Yes.
with him. Yeah, so it was.
Yeah.
So we stayed until Monday morning.
Oh, good.
Yeah, making memories. We were sewing his outfit for the final journey.
Oh, you
Yeah, so
were.
we had to. Yeah, we needed to give like his outfit
Outfit
when
when.
he were like giving him for the autopsy. We had to give an outfit that they would dress him up. The
Yeah.
hospital chaplain would dress him up when on Wednesday, next Wednesday,
After.
when we pick him up. Yeah, when we pick him up after the autopsy.
Okay. Did you decide on that you were going to bury him then, get his body back and bury him, or were you cremating him?
On Friday, like as many people were coming in,
Many
and like
people.
as the chaplain to talk, like many people, and the chaplain, hospital chaplain, came in to discuss the option. And my husband was my rock at the time because I could not speak a single word. Like
Yeah.
it was either yes or no.
Yeah.
My husband was the one who was calling a funeral home and organizing a cremation ceremony.
Yeah.
We decided not to bury him because there is no one here, like
Yeah.
no relatives.
Yeah.
And yeah, we didn't want him to be alone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
among strangers,
Yeah.
So we took him home.
Yeah. I don't think people realize how big those questions are of like, did you decide to bury him or did you cremate him? And yeah, you think about all those things where you're like, I gotta make sure my baby's near friends and near family, and yeah, so
At least someone.
at
So we
least someone.
decided like
Yeah.
whoever goes first will like be on my husband.
Yes.
We
You'll have
that person. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You gotta keep your babies close.
Yeah.
So you guys sewed a little outfit for him.
Yeah.
Tell
It was like it was making it out of two different ones, but we started dressing up and just to see what it is gonna fit.
Yeah.
We turned out that his newborn clothes was not big enough, and even the size up was not big enough for him. Like the size of his feet was impressive. Like it was 9.5 centimeters. It was like a 3 inches, around
I was
three and
about
a half inches. Like it's a big,
big
it's a
feet.
big
Yeah.
footprint. And all of these, like one is they come with this like
Just a little
booty type.
booty.
Like his heel was
Always.
in the middle of his foot, like the heel part, when the seam was
always
in the middle of and it like that's his father trait. He has big foot, so you're like father son.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So we make a nice outfit with our friends send us these bodysuits and onesies with like Ukrainian embroidery. And we took one of those. We took one of those. It was like a more like a long sleeve.
Yes.
Not a bodysuit, and we repurpose it. Oh, it was a bodysuit, but we repurpose it to be like a long sleeve.
Yes.
On top of the white onesie, it was like white long sleeve with Ukrainian embroidery.
Yes, and the embroidery is so beautiful. If you ever get to see,
it was very beautiful.
Yes, I love that you guys were putting it together and sewing it and
like
making it work,
like needles and everything, like measuring tape. It was.
Oh, that is so great!
It was a workshop,
Yes,
and we did it on the weekend because there was no one in the hospital except a nurse that would come in like to check my blood pressure, and that's it. And we were like left alone in there just to make memories, making photos. I
love the fact that you guys are just hanging out like a family and just doing something so much for your son.
Doing some crazy DIY.
I know, I love it. I love it so much. Can you tell me, so you also it sounds like you took a lot of photos and videos. What other things, tell me what else you guys did while you were there together. Was there anything specific that you made sure you wanted to do while you had him?
So actually, hospital provides a bereavement midwife, and she brought lots of options.
Oh, that's so great!
Handprints and then hand and footprint like on the paper, and then they offer it's like a footprint and hand of print on the clay, on the piece of clay. And it's not like a cast; it's just like a piece of clay, and they just imprint it into the clay, press it. And they send it for dried in the kiln and glaze it, and then an artist they color the prints in the color, like it was blue for Andrew. It's a little bit of artwork, but it's very beautiful. Even though it arrived 2 months later, but it looks beautiful.
Well, it's the fact that it's like hardened and glazed, and it sounds like it's going to be a little bit more durable and stand the test of time. Because sometimes when we get, I've seen families that we've talked to where their molds of the hands and feet are starting to disintegrate.
We didn't think of it. We were not in that state. Like probably when parents, they think of it before like birth and everything, and they prepare it. But at the time, like
you don't
by Friday, like we couldn't get any Amazon deliveries. So it was it wasn't my mind before, but I did not prepare it before.
Yeah.
In advance. if we would have it at home, we would definitely do it.
Yeah.
It would be really cool. But at least we have that.
I
We
think
also
that's
got
great.
the backup plate.
Oh, good.
They made like 2 impressions,
That's great.
and one the artist selected the best one, and they returned the second one. It's just like in the memory box. So this midwife, she brought a memory box with his blanket and other like reading materials. They also actually, on the first night with Andrew after the C-section, we were given 2 mini bears, 2 mini teddy bears, and the purpose of it is that during the time in the hospital, parents keep one bear to themselves, like next to them, like I don't know, in the pocket, like they carry it,
just
with them, and the other one stays in the cot with the baby, and then at the final moment, you switch them. So yeah, so
that's
beautiful. The ceremony, beautiful. We kind of swapped the bears.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was very lovely. So the bereavement midwife was great. She helped us a lot to create those precious memories with Andrew. The handprints, the footprints on the paper were beautiful. I later used them as I made Christmas tree baubles.
Oh,
like they were like in the glass, and I printed it on transparent, like a photo.
Oh,
like a
perfect.
Like a, I don't know what was that.
Yeah, I was like, plastic, it's like on a plastic, right?
Plastic, yeah. And then I put it inside of this glass flat bauble, and I could hold it.
Yeah.
In my arms.
Yeah.
In my hands, sorry. In my arms, in my hands. Yeah. So we also had like his midwife, she helped us to have like his first bath.
Oh.
She brought like a little bathtub, and she helped us because Andrew needed to be held by 2 people, and I was just like splashing soap and water.
That is wonderful. I can't tell you how much I think that it's so neat to see this bereavement midwife was there, and they have things that in order to help. I think it's so that's amazing. It's sad that they have a job that they do, but it is amazing that they're there as a support.
We are really grateful for them, like for helping us make these memories. She also took some pictures, and she made a photo album. Like she printed out those pictures and gave it to us in the memory box. So it was beautiful.
That is wonderful.
Actually, we have like 2 foundations that help parents who lost their baby. Some of them, they said like just reading materials, some notebooks to take notes, like journals. To have journal. And in one of them, they also prepared like a paper bags with prints. It's a bereavement midwife. She prepared like a paper bag with present. It's not a present, but it's like like something memorable for grandparents.
Wonderful.
She also like made a copy of like footprints, handprints, and they also got like a pack of seeds. And you just
sprinkle
scatter them
out
around. It's like a spring flowers. Like dandelions, poppy flower. Like actually, my mom she just did that, and she said it's growing. It's tiny.
Is it?
But
it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. So that's great.
Wow, I just am amazed. I just am so amazed and grateful that there was somebody there that was like, and there are foundations and people that are willing to donate their time and resources so that you guys have you have time and things to do and some direction, because when you don't expect to lose a baby, so you don't think about these kind of things at all.
No, we definitely weren't prepared for this outcome whatsoever.
You had your C-section They said your wound was healing, the incision was healing okay. Were you feeling physically okay? I mean, obviously, emotions and mental are probably a little bit a different story,
Kind of.
but how's your body recovering from the C-section?
It was recovering pretty well. I was already making some small circles around,
Okay.
like the
Yeah.
corridor,
Okay.
back and forth,
Yeah.
on the second day.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And I think on Sunday, my husband took me for a walk. There is a beautiful park right across the street from the maternity hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and it was beautiful weather, sunny.
Mm-hmm.
So I had took around the park.
Good.
So it was fine.
It's probably nice to get out. Then on Monday, that was the day that you guys had essentially said that you would be giving Andrew to the hospital so that they could do an autopsy. So did they just come and get him, or did you guys give him to the nurses? How did that work for you?
Yeah. So the nurse came in and they wheeled me wheeled me out from the room on the chair.
Mhm.
I was holding Andrew, and we were going to the hospital, like a chaplain room, so it's like a prayer
Oh
room
yeah,
for
yeah.
this kind of occasions. It was lovely, but the location of it was a little bit strange because this door, like the entrance to that room, there were no signs or anything. It was just like white door, but it was next to the entrance to the maternity clinic where I was, like, when I
Oh
was pregnant, I was going into the door,
yeah,
stand in the queue to get to my appointment.
exactly.
And when they were wheeling me to the door, I saw just pregnant women standing in the queue to get to their appointment. Some were smiling because they didn't know actually what was going on. I was still like in disbelief,
Yeah.
like dissociation. So some of them were smiling because they saw me holding them.
Oh, the baby.
Yeah, for me, it was like, wow, that's a strange place
Yeah.
for it. So,
Oh.
so in that room, kind of, we said like quick goodbye, and we left to discharge me. We still had our stuff in the room and everything, so we left Andrew with the chaplain, and they took over from there until Wednesday. Yeah, we left. We I got discharged. I got my prescription pills, whatever they chose to, and we left. Yeah, left the hospital, and we decided. I asked to go to the seaside just to hear some, noise.
Yeah.
The seagulls were screaming. So am I, in, inside. I wanted to scream like a seagull. The first day at home was kind of bad emotionally. Yeah, it was very hard. Ah, and physically as well, I forgot to mention. When you ask if I was recovering, actually, I had big allergy to one of the sterilizing thing they put on my belly.
Oh.
So I had huge contact dermatitis
Oh my
from it,
gosh.
and it was itching. I think it wasn't the area around the incision was clear, but whatever they put,
Oh.
as they described it, like we put some kind of like a tissue on your belly,
Yep.
and so it doesn't move. They they cover belly with some iodine solution or something like that, and I had huge
Oh.
contact dermatitis. Like it was, I never had it this bad. It was
Oh.
torturous. It was a torture, physical torture for
I
me.
oh. I was like, this is like adding insult to injury. That is so
Yes,
horrible. Oh.
it was horrible. I could not catch a break, you know?
Yeah, basically, like, that is not fair on so many levels, and that
Yeah, nothing was helping. Like you could use some steroid cream, but
But it still will itch.
Yeah, it doesn't help. So it still itches all day long, and only in the sleep I could have a break from it. But it was like brutal any way possible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Gosh, Nataliia, I'm so sorry. I just am in shock of just yeah. Nataliia, so they took Andrew and they did the autopsy on Monday, and then
Yeah.
he was brought to the funeral home.
No,
Not the funeral home, but
no.
yeah.
Actually, we had to pick him up from the
You
hospital from the same room where it wasn't like that. Yeah. So from the autopsy, it was done in the hospitals,
yeah.
and they returned Andrew on Wednesday. The chaplain told us
He would
you need to come back.
yeah.
You need to come back on Wednesday, and then we you take him to the funeral,
Okay.
to the cemetery.
So you guys got to go pick him up, essentially.
Yes, we were so glad to see him.
I know. That makes me so happy. I don't know why that makes me so happy, because it's a little bit more laws here in the United States, I think, and it has to go from like the hospitals to the funeral home. And so the fact that you had to take him, you bring him, go pick him up. And okay, will you tell me about how that went? You went back on Wednesday then?
Yeah. Actually, on Tuesday, we had a chance to buy flowers.
Oh, good.
For him, and write a letter. Yeah, write a letter for him.
Yeah.
So we can put that letter into the casket. So on Wednesday, we came to the hospital to pick him up. There was a little ceremony with hospital chaplain.
Okay.
We read some poems and blessings and prayers. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Andrew looked amazing. I'm sorry, it's a wrong word, but he looked like he was alive.
Yes.
He had rosy cheeks.
Really?
His lips, they weren't blue.
Yeah.
They were pinky blue.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
He was sleeping.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even tell. So after this ceremony at the hospital, we took Andrew to the cemetery. It's like a big complex they have. I don't know the English word, the columbarium, the one that you store
what are those
cremation
called?
urns.
Yes, exactly. I was what are those called? I should know this.
I'm not sure about this word either. And
it's like a crypt, or I'm not.
And actually, it was outside. You could just see urns, and there was another side that they were just burial site.
Yes.
For regular graves. So it's a big cemetery, and they also have crematorium, and they also have separate room for kids' funerals. It's a smaller, it's cozy, because there is a big room.
Yeah.
It's a chapel, it looked like a church, actually, for the size. But for our purposes, probably they chose it's called Angel Chapel, and it's for kids. So it was special. It looked like a cave because there were lots of these candles, electric LED candles, but it was
very cozy.
lovely.
Yeah. That is so special.
Yeah. I drove with Andrew in my hand.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that no police will stop me. Because that would be too hard to explain.
Yes.
What's going on why I'm holding the baby.
And not in the baby seat, So
in the hospital they also gave us a casket.
Oh, they did.
Beautiful white casket. And we drove together to the chapel. There were only two of us. We did not have that mental and physical capacity to plan our parents' visit, because with the current situation, you cannot make last last minute plans.
Yes.
You at least need to have like 2 weeks in advance to buy tickets for the train and everything. It's like for them it was not possible.
Yeah.
And like friends living far away.
It was too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was two of us and Andrew. Yeah. So I think we had like around 20 minutes or something in the chapel. During that time, we were just, sitting with Andrew in our arms. We actually, on Tuesday, we picked up our favorite melodies, like Claire de Lune from my husband, and then I had another one. So we picked up like some nice music for the ceremony. We could play it there.
Mm-hmm.
It was very special. And yeah, so we were holding him. And when the time came, we placed him in the casket, said our prayers, and gave a sign to there was like a employee or something. We gave a sign that they could and it was closing off like curtains, like the theatrical curtains. They were just beautiful ceremony, but still, it still was surreal that it happened. And it happened so fast. And after ceremony, we left. We drove to botanical garden. Dublin has really, really nice botanical gardens, even though it was November, but still, it was still nice. We have green grass all year long.
I'm sure.
and some greenhouses in the botanical garden, so it was beautiful there. So we just took a walk around the botanical garden and then went home, tried to like start finding new normal. Yeah, the first few months they were very hard on me. I was on maternity leave for 4 months. That's kind of
is that standard?
No, the government 6 months.
Okay.
And then you have additional. It's like paid.
Oh, okay.
By government. It's not much, but it's paid.
Yeah.
Like a little bit support, and then you have 4 months of unpaid leave.
Okay.
You can take. That is fine, but I was on maternity leave for only 4 months because by the end of the third month, I was like, I need to do something because I was going mental.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah. There's something. Yes. Just
It
almost feels like you're stewing and just spinning when you're.
Yes, and these thoughts, during this time, I went through all of stages of grief multiple times.
Yeah.
Before that, I thought these stages, it's like a cycle, one cycle, and that's it. But turned out it's like a spiral.
Yeah.
Like
it keeps going.
It ends and then again and again and again, and it was really hard, to pull myself out of it. 1 minute you cry, the next you smile, like you laugh.
Yeah.
It was so.
It's disorienting.
Yes.
It's disorienting. Nataliia, I know that you mentioned that it takes about 2 months in Ireland to get back an autopsy. Did you guys get the autopsy back, and were there any answers?
Yes, they were. We received a letter from that OBGYN who was performing a C-section on me. She scheduled a follow-up like in 2 months' time. When we came, like we did not have much hopes, but we were hoping that they found. We asked them like, "Did you find something?" And they said yes. They stressed again that nothing that I could have done to cause this, like nothing that I ate or did, like it was nothing. So turned out it was a very aggressive, rare brain tumor, which is called immature teratoma. And there's also a mature type, which can be removed and actually maybe can survive. But immature teratoma, it it keeps growing.
Yeah.
And even if you resect something, if you leave something behind, it starts over. And it has very low fetal life rate. It's 10%. It's 10% expectation. Very rare baby survives this. And it is very fast growing. That's why everything was fine 2 weeks before, and 2 weeks later it's all bad. And they said it's very rare. It's 0.1% of all tumors. So rare that they said it's not your genetic code. It just something went wrong that late in the pregnancy.
Yeah.
That tumor, it was intracranial, immature teratoma. It means that it lodged itself between the hemisphere of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And even if we caught it early, it would be impossible to remove it because it was inside by the brainstem.
It was too it wouldn't.
It was they would not be able to do anything. Even if I give birth to to him earlier, he would just die because they would not be able to operate such a small brain, and the location of this tumor would not give any chances to him. It was made of this tumor. There is a type of cells in our body which called germ cells. They can grow any part of the body. These teratomas, they can be they can grow, I don't know, a tooth piece, a skin,
liver,
it's a mature teratoma when it has a shape of it. And sometimes these teratomas are found in women it looks like a cyst on ovaries, but it also can grow teratoma, these kind of weird tumors which look like a part of the body.
Wow.
But in case of immature teratoma, it's like a mush, and it was a cartilage, a piece of it had a texture, a structure of a cartilage. And first, when they told us cartilage, how the cartilage end up in his brain, but then they told us it's just the way this tumor behaves. It can be anything.
Wow.
And later, when we started Googling and looking for the medical articles on this matter, we were finding pretty much lots of materials on this. And some teratomas, immature teratomas, we found that they grew on the face, and they tried to remove it, but
it would come.
I mean, they did remove it, but it didn't help because it just kept growing again and again, and just little body gave up. So it can grow anywhere on the body, and we were not lucky. We were unlucky that it happened inside the brain, that nothing could be done. Save him.
Nataliia, I am so sorry. I think sometimes I'm knowing that's what happened to him, does that give you more peace or less peace about his situation? I don't know.
Yes, it gave me some peace because during these 2 months, I was, as I said, I did not believe doctors say that it wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
I was blaming myself.
Yeah.
Every waking moment of these 2 months, I was blaming myself for not noticing earlier, or and not for protecting him. I had one job. My body had one job to protect him, but it didn't. So at some point, yes, it brought some closure and a little bit of relief that it wasn't my fault. It wasn't our fault that it was something wrong with us, that we passed it on to him. And we were told that it's so rare, they never seen it before. And it's very unlikely that it will happen to us again, because it's
the odds. Yeah.
The odds were, we just became that bad statistic for it. When we came home, we read the whole report, and it was so painful to read that everything else was normal.
That's fine.
Yeah, he was
perfect.
Otherwise, he was perfect, perfect heart.
That's why he had his strong heart. He always had his little strong heartbeat.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
like how this would happen to this perfect body,
Perfect
like
little boy.
perfect boy, and this such a small cell that can destroy his life. And now we're like, yeah, because the life as we knew it, it was gone. We started over.
Nataliia, thank you so much for telling us about Andrew and sharing us your heart, and because this is not easy, and
Yeah.
it was beautiful. Cute little
Yeah.
Andrew.
Thank you for this safe place. I found you guys in the middle of this Google rage when I was trying to find some answers. Like before we received this autopsy results, I was like trying to find like what can cause, and when I couldn't find anything in suitable like in the articles, I I went to YouTube and I started like typing like infant death at 30 weeks, 37 weeks, and like many videos popped up, and one of them was yours, one of the stories of one of the parents, and I started listening. I was bawling, crying through each story, and it was like my therapy and my support group at the comfort of my house, of my home, all day. And thank you for your work. And I would never thought that I would do it, but I got like inspired by other parents to share their stories, because nobody asks this, and you don't get to tell this story very often. This is basically probably the first time when I fully told, like when I told this full story. Sometimes it's just like a few couple of questions, or even to the to the therapist, it's just like
Little,
something there, like little, not going into details, but the full story. First, it was in my notes, in my journal, and now I told it to you and others.
And
Thank you.
I feel like it's an honor to be able to do that, and so, but I just want to always acknowledge that you are brave to share this with us. All the parents have been who volunteered to do this are so brave, and we're grateful for people that are willing to share and bear their heart to the world, it feels like. And so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before we close, I do want to ask you if you want to say anything else about Andrew that we may have missed. Anything that you wanted to say about him?
He would have been perfect, and we love him to the moon and back.
Thank you so much again, Nataliia. That was beautiful and a great way to.
Thank you.
A great way
to honor him. Yeah. Even though I'm crying and I almost like do not see you through my tears, but I'm glad I did it. Thank you.